Responding to one comment on the channel, not all of them. Here we go. Las Vegas police, SWAT, found themselves in a situation where, knowing the various regulations with fire, exit drills, live shooter drills, and everything by law, has to be prepared and practiced. Okay. This is the being prepared rather than being caught with your pants down. Okay, we'll continue. SWAT and Sheriff Specials have that wonderful place, foreknowledge and coordination of each and all of the Vegas gigs. Not sure where you're going here. We'll go on with this. And let's see here. What if they get a sniff of what is in the works, then go out and organize all the strip to have their fire drills one after another, same time as well? Is there any evidence there was a bunch of fire drills had happened on the night of the shooting? I haven't heard even that said, that there were even any fire drills. But fire drills happen all sorts of times. I don't know what the regulations in the area are. I do know that in businesses I've worked at that were like public malls and that sort of thing, fire drills were only handled by doing them when no one would be bothered. The idea is to reduce the likelihood of panic. That way, and also not make people think that there is a false alarm going on. You don't want to create false alarm. So I don't know. Don't know what the regulations are. I'll go look that up. They all know too well that what piles of cash, drugs, gold is up in the Saudi Four Seasons. And busting them for it wouldn't come to the mind of a military or police organization. You're presuming that the local police department is the meme of Chicago cops that are corrupt, correct? So here we go, next. They're not Chicago cops, by the way. They pulled the heist of their dreams, never blinked, walked away clean. Walk away clean versus ass ton of people getting fired upon and a huge amount of attention drawn to the area. Well, that's a distraction. The attention was focused on the Four Seasons area if you believe that Paddock was in a Saudi-controlled Four Seasons location, which it is not. That's the last place on earth you do it. I would do it across town when no one was looking. And it isn't Saudi-controlled, and they don't leave cash, drugs, or gold there. This is even a Mission Impossible episode, not even the movie, based on this would be kind of bullshitish. SWAT did something that is glaring right up to us. Number one, no one has picked up on. Okay, so now that you've left this teaser and cliffhanger and haven't actually provided any information, let me explain this slowly. The Four Seasons, less than 50% of it is owned by a person who is from Saudi Arabia. Another less than 50% is owned by like Bill Gates and shit. And the last little percentages is owned by a person who started, oh wait a minute, they don't actually own the Four Seasons. That same ratio applies to every location that is run by the Four Seasons or the conglomerate that owns it. It was originally owned by that one person who has 1%. He sold off virtually all of his stock to whoever would take it over and try to keep it afloat. And out of all of those buildings that have exactly the same likelihood of having the Saudi Arabians have gold or drugs or hookers or whatever in it, they chose this location to have the gold in. There is a certain limited amount of gold on this planet. It's an element. It isn't something you manufacture by mixing together eye of Newton, butt of twerp. So, no. And then someone's going to post below, you're a gatekeeper, you're brigading, blah, blah, blah. So, let's try this thing. What floor did the heist happen at? Where was it stored? What was the material? How long will it take me to find a video and or other data source that shows that the location physically was empty and didn't have anything in it that night and couldn't have anything in it? How many locations do you think in a motel that isn't actually literally run by the Saudi Arabian government? It's not a consulate. It's a business where people like me get a job cleaning up rooms. Well, the Saudis won't let you touch a certain room. Bullshit. They're based on servants and obedience. if they wouldn't exclude anybody from that. Again, the most powerful person in the building is going to be a janitor because he has all the keys. Is there a floor in the Las Vegas Mandalay Bay, not the Four Seasons owned by the Saudis, we're talking the whole fucking building, is there a part of the building that the maintenance crew, aka the janitors and cleaners and housekeepers, are not permitted to go to at all? In a building I was working at, there was a floor nobody was allowed to go into except a different janitor, and it contained a database system, a network of computers, because that floor was owned by a company, and they literally made it to where you couldn't stop on that elevator floor. So I stopped on the elevator floor and got out and looked around, and then went back to work. They came by and said, well, you're allowed up there because you have clearance. You didn't get our specific clearance. I'm like, it's a building. I do building maintenance, and honestly, you shouldn't have used a password that was that easy to guess. It's only 4 digits. I looked at it at an angle and saw all the fingerprints. It's not complicated. It's the only thing that anybody typed in a password for, and it's through the elevator. And as for the other floor, you know, the other, like, fire exits, they only open into the fire exit area. Yeah, but people would open the door to air out the building. Heat builds up where you have a bunch of computers. It's a data storage company. Then they got wind of what I did before, and they're like, how the hell did you let this guy get in here? And they're like, I'm not going to use my actual name. Waptech is the kind of person you'd want on the janitorial staff, making sure we don't hire anybody who might try to go to your floor. By the way, we're cleaning the keys on the keypad now so nobody can figure out how easy it is. And you need to replace it because they're worn. So it's 4 of the keys. That just narrows it down to doing 4. How many? What is the permutations for 4 keys? Trick questions. It was 1 key. 9999. That's your password for your high security. So find me a location in the Mandalay Bay that nobody would be able to get to. There's a security room. The security people there are able to go into every location. If they can't, it'll be the janitors. Or there's a janitor who works on the floor that's been sealed off. And I guarantee you they're not going to want to have someone from their country do that. They'll want staff on site because they want to threaten the building by getting you to obey them. It's easier that way. You basically find somebody who can do the work you want and have them do the work. You don't have to threaten your own employees. You just say, yeah, we own building through a conglomerate. They own half the stock in the company that owns the building. The person owns half the stock in the building I was working at, that place I just mentioned about, had no more power over me than any of the customers, because the business at location has to be independent of the major company unless you really, really piss somebody off. So no, they're going to have their own staff, and that everybody does that. Well, they could have hid, what was it, gold, drugs, and cash. Okay, all you have to do is find a location on those floors that is physically inaccessible to literally everybody who works there. Security and housekeeping crew and janitors and maintenance. Those are all separate things. But they're all basically people who have keys, and passwords are not needed for them most of the time. Key bypasses are given because I don't have to have a password memorized. I just have a key. And if it's an electronic key, you can turn it off remotely. That's how you're supposed to do it. So again, all you have to do is show some semblance of evidence. All I see here is a fantasy novel that would probably not get you much money at Barnes & Noble. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. But it is an interesting story. Please flesh it out.